Hi friends, we will be discussing KSGS 2 section 2 portions here. Before that, let us see the syllabus of KSGS 2 paper section 2. Section 2 in the sense Indian Constitution, or everyone might be saying like a polity and Indian Constitution. So here in this chapter, in this section, we will be discussing Indian Constitution in detail. It's a main syllabus. Once you cover this, well and good, you can use the same information for your prelims questions also. Indian Constitution, as we know, when it is originated and approved by the Constituent Assembly in November 26, 1949, it had around 22 parts and 395 articles. Now this 22 grown up to 25, 395, more than 470 articles. Here, out of these 25 parts, we will be studying or concentrating more on around 12 or 13 parts. That's it. No need to study in detail the 25 parts of the Indian Constitution. And the main aspect, even not just the theoretical portion is required, whatever important in your newspaper or day-to-day activities or around the world, those subjects linked with the section 2 of the GS2 paper should be studied, analyzed, and information related with that should be collected and kept for your proper preparation. Okay, so constitution, as I said, around the 25 parts and all. Let's start with the part 1. Part 1 is about a union and its territories. Around 4 articles are there, 1 to 4. Then part 2 about citizenship, that is from article 5 to 11. Citizenship related provisions, constitutional provisions, is discussed well in detail here. Part 3 is about fundamental rights. Part 4 is about DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Part 5 is Part 4A also added, that is about fundamental duty. Part 5 is about union. Part 6 is about state. Part 7 is repealed. Part 8 is union territory. Part 9 is about panchayat, municipality, cooperative societies. Part 10 is related with some scheduled and tribal areas. Okay, part 11 goes to the relationship between center and states and all. So out of this, so first 10 parts we should be knowing, we should be studying in detail, because it is required for both mains and prelims, as well as some interview also. If you needs to get some idea about the governance system in India, so you should have a thorough understanding of this part 1 to 10. You will be studying those all in detail. So here in your syllabus, when you go through the different words, keywords in the syllabus, you will be seeing some words matched with these different parts. Okay, so let's see the syllabus first. Syllabus has totally 7 units, as we have seen. So the first 2 units. First, about the nature of the Constitution, or our Indian Constitution natures in the sense, what are its salient features, what all it consists of, how this Constitution of India originated, Constituent Assembly when framing this Constitution, what all the process it has done. So these all consist of these salient features of Indian Constitution. What kind of Constitution in the Indian Constitution? What kind of system is being built by the Constitution of India? Is it a democratic system? Is it a autocratic system? Is it a crown setup? Is it a presidential government, a parliamentary government? Whether democratic decentralization of power is given? Is what kind of country ours? Whether it is a theological country or it is a secular country? Is it a republic? Is it hereditary? So all those details are part of the nature and salient features of Indian Constitution. Then preamble is just the introduction of the Constitution. Then, as we have seen, part 4 is DPSP and Indian Federation related provisions. The word federation is, even though absent from the Indian Constitution E can be said as it is as federal also, unitary also. Then part 3, that is fundamental rights. Here, right to equality, right to freedom, right to property, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, and reasonable restrictions to these fundamental rights that needs to be covered. So in these provisions, so fundamental rights start from article 12 up to article 35. In that 12, we know that it is defines about the state, 13 is defines about the law, and 14 is starting with the proper rights of the fundamental rights, and it continues up to 35, or you can say it's continuous up to 32, right? To constitutional remedies. Here in later portion of the syllabus you will see the word like right to property, that can be clubbed with the fundamental rights and can be studied in that way. And the provisions related with the SC/ST, this is in news for a long time, so it is triple star. It is most important provisions in the fundamental rights. Okay, let's move to the next one. That's about the distribution of powers between the union and the states, distribution of powers between state and its apparatus. So distribution of powers between union and the state, it is categorized or it is studied under three heads. One is legislative powers distribution, executive or administrative powers distribution, then financial power distribution. See, between union and state, administrative, financial, legislative powers distributions. Then powers and functions of different constitutional bodies. That is another part of the constitution, another part in the sense different sections of the constitutions gave reference to different bodies or bodies that is having at most importance in our democratic setup. For example, election commission, union public service commission, or you can say about minorities commission, SC/ST commission, finance commission, etc. So these have given actually at most importance. Some constitutional bodies are given in detail in the constitution. That means how it needs to be formed, what is its tenure, what are its functions, or how its independence are being ensured, how it is protected from legislative and executive interference. So these all are given. In some cases constitution just to give a reference like yes, this kind of things can be constitution. For example, you must have heard about different council, interstate councils, you must have heard. So their only reference has been made. So these all are clubbed or these all are considered as constitutional bodies. Other than these constitutional bodies, we will be studying about non-constitutional bodies, non-constitutional, non-statutory bodies. So we will be studying all those details. Here it is about the constitutional bodies. And in union we have seen, states we have seen, part 5 is union, part 6 is states. Union state union setup includes union executive also, union legislative also, union judiciary also we will be discussing here. Union executive head is president and council of ministers headed by prime minister. Union legislature, that means parliament and related legislative provisions. Judiciary in the sense Supreme Court. Other than that, in the part 5 we will be studying about the CAG and Attorney General of India also. Similarly, in the states there is governor, there is state legislature, legislative council also, legislative assembly also. So there can be some states that is bicameral, there can be some states that is unicameral, and those all details are there. So governor, that comes in part 6 of the constitution, council of ministers and the cabinet, both part 5 also, part 6 also. Judicial remedy is there with the federal judiciary also, state judiciary also. Then unicameral and bicameral legislation, functions and crisis of accountability, delegated legislations. Delegated legislation can be goes to any extent, even from the president to a particular body or particular person, even up to the lower level of the Panchayati Raj system. Legislative and judicial control over legislative, executive procedures and delegated legislation, judicial review in the administrative action, CAG and Attorney General, as I said already. Next is important amendments to the constitution. Amendments comes under article 368 of the constitution, only one article. But other than that, article 368 gives actually a well defined process and a method for amending the constitution. But other than that, some other parts, other areas, other articles of the constitution also give reference to kind of amendments, but that is not article 368 constituent power amendment. For example, article 3 is about creation of new states or altercating the boundaries of the existing states. So in those cases also some kind of amendments needs to be made in the constitution, but that is not considered as a constitutional amendment under article 368. It is extremely different. For example, if you want to omit a particular rights from the fundamental rights provisions, you needs to go as per the article 368. You needs to add one more DPSP principles. So you need to go as per the article 368, or article 368 itself needs to be amended. You need to go as per that, or you might have heard in the news like article 370. Article 370 is about the special provisions to Jammu and Kashmir. You need to look into article 368 in that case. So whenever this constitutional amendment comes, there comes actually a basic structure theory or the basic feature theory of the constitution. It's a judicially propounded doctrine. It is actually well protecting our constitution. Other than that, emergency provisions are there, that is from 350 to 360, very important. Decentralization, then Panchayati Raj, this is part 9 we can study. So other than that, welfare of India, so we have seen that DPSP in part 4. So this is comes here, right to property we will be studying there. Then these are some constitutional bodies or planning commissions are non-constitutional, non-statutory bodies. Planning commission, National Development Commission, NDC, these all are actually abolished once the Modi government came in 2014. So now we have a Niti Aayog instead of that. The syllabus is actually old, not updated. But still we will be looking into that. So that's what I said, when we study about a constitutional body, we study about the statutory bodies, we study about the non-constitutional, non-statutory, or the bodies formed as per the executive resolutions. The last question is services under the union and the state. So here you will be studying about the UPSC, SPSC and tribunals for a part 14, part 14A, mainly discussing about this provision. This is what actually your part GS2 section 2 portions. So this, when we study the constitution in detail and its application, GS2 section 2 is over. So if you are covering the main syllabus well and good, easily it will help you in your prelims also, mains also. I think you might have understood the syllabus properly. From the next classes, from next video onwards, we will be discussing all these parts, all the sections, all the articles, all the chapters in detail and its current relevance. And I will make the videos as short as possible. Okay. Thank you and bye.